playoffs bracket. Only RAD or
He's out.
Reject can make it through.
And Reject at least made it
seen
through
this
the
video
sort
in
of
a hot minute. I
play-in
wanna see
stage for Grand Finals, but there was a lot more slots open, and they immediately got eliminated by 100 Thieves earlier that time in the playoffs. So here they want to see if they can use that experience against a squad that has shown a lot of promise in the European region of RAD, but just maybe throwing in
Okay, let's see this, chat.
major mistakes.
Last
that could
matchup
cost
of the
them.
day,
It's
and then
all
tomorrow
the
we
mental
have
prowess
our
and where these
actual
duelists
bracket
can
tomorrow.
Get the damage done. Reject looking to sort of dedicate not to the triple Vanguard that they were running before. It's more 2-2-2 and more Brownie Black Widow.
Well, it's a good hedge from them because Crazy Kitty's moving out on the wall after having had both their DD and their Black Cat banned away. And you can see that RAD are putting a lot of resources here into control
what is he
the
coming
high
out
ground
on?
to start with.
See if they can sort of use these like further sight lines.
Yep,
try and get
coming out on
Yaki into
Wolverine.
position in the back line. Right now, Reject is just keeping that foot touched onto the point as the dive comes in to go up against Mash. That's going to be on that
Oh,
gambit,
nice
but it's a great
freeze.
freeze actually comes in from Vertigo. It's not going to be enough to put them off from the onslaught of Reckoning that's going to come in. But Crazy Kitty now, seeing if he can jump onto the point as it's not been flipped for either team just yet.
Yeah, Crazy Kitty's not going to be the ideal. Oh, goodbye Gargoyle. Just about got off the banhammer, but didn't get any bonus health in time in order to try and survive the onslaught of the Wolverine. And now it's Sunghoon, who is under duress, of course.
Wait,
a
why
rocket
did he
jump
do
pack
that?
is there
I'm
to just
pretty sure he
escape
could have
to
got the
skies.
kill.
However, it's a good back and forth here, and Reject seem to have found the angles with Brownie to try and hunt down the members of RAD and find themselves a first capture.
Yeah, RAD have had like a bit of a tumultuous time over on Domination, whereas for Reject, the only teams that are realistically losing against
are you
in
watching
Asia
it?
are
Yeah,
just
whatever.
the Gen Gs of the world. So
Enjoy.
feels like Reject have a little bit more going for them, at least when it comes off of
Yeah, my
official
dad and my
experience.
brother are
However,
both in
you've got to
the-
say
in that
a more
video.
competitive region where the teams that they're losing to consistently being Na'Vi and Virtus Pro, as well as the rivalry with Shikigami and other teams around the sort of playoffs position. RAD trying to see if they can pull things back, as 20% has already been made.
Is this a
up
best
for
of two?
Reject.
This is a
He's
best
taking
of
so much
three,
damage.
so
Can we
it's a
get some
first
heals from my boy?
2-2.
There we go. Finally back into a fighting fit form, but doesn't have that diamond form anymore. And so moving towards this team is going to be fraught with peril. So much damage already taken, but luckily that Mantis Timber is going to be over-healthing the wayward Emma. Gargoyle already falling down. It's Brownie on the angle. Oh my goodness. Killer instinct. Frag
Ooh,
after frag.
I'm loving
and the
this
bullets
Brownie
hit
guy.
home. But you can't go too much closer than this. There's still going to be danger afoot here as Yaki is just going to start working around the margins, and they've managed to find themselves the openings for the remainder of Reject, who are playing this masterfully from the two angles.
Yeah, they're having to reset now. They've got some ultimates that are built up, but it was a lovely 2K that came in onto Mash and Crazy Kitty, who switched away from the Wolverine, going towards the Elsa, so it's a double hit scan setup. Crazy Kitty is flexible. He's not just one of those
I am
melee players
really
that can only
surprised
play
that
He
Reject
very
is
cerebral
rolling
in
this
that
right now.
picture, and both him and Smashdez were picking up Elsa back in the preseason when she was really strong. Now you've got the pressure coming in from Piggy over on this side, and the rolling flush that's going to be used from Mash to try and go in and contest this one a little bit more. Ultimates are plenty for RAD.
Smashness on the angle. Where are you going to place your Meteor M towards?
Oh!
Done for Ducky. Gargoyles down. Two players remaining. The other might be unlimited healing basically coming from Aluna, but there's only one person to sit from said cup.
I'm
Reject
sorry that
are
you
scattered to
experience
the
it as
four
well,
winds,
Ashton.
and RAD will finally
tough.
grab their first capture.
A little bit late in
it's
the
a
day,
good
but
watch.
RAD were able to
It's a
do
good
that against
watch.
100 Thieves. It was 99% 100 Thieves got over on Celestial Husk on that first point, and RAD holding on, no mistakes made, able to flip it into their favor and able to win out on domination
Gotta watch
there.
it
So
again,
Reject,
actually.
they
I haven't
have
seen
got
that in a
plenty of
hot
opportunity
minute.
to build up some of these ultimates, but RAD are well experienced. They've got a really good crossfire setup across with these two hit scans and a couple of ultimates sat in the back pocket and a Heartbreaker on the way for Lugia.
We said no mistakes were made, but now no mistakes are allowed for RAD. One fight will do it here for Reject as Yaki moves in towards the back. Brand new Crown of Hades in order to try and get that additional stealth towards the back. And Yaki's just continually demanding all of this
Oh, he didn't get his
attention.
invisible. Okay, there you go.
Guard wants to move on to that very vulnerable Black Widow. And
Oof.
it's a beautiful combo from Yaki there. Next up's going to be the Rogue, trying to bring out all of the damage
so-
on towards that
Oof.
Vanguard. And it seems that Reject are picking their
Oof.
targets well. Even with the healing that was supplied by Vertigo, Rad's victims were nowhere near the dance floor that the Lunar Snow was beginning to use. And so one by one they fall. It's going to have to be a portal back here, opened up by Smashness to get that last second recontest. Will they be able to stop
Yo,
Reject from
Reject.
capturing, though doesn't seem that's going to be the case.
Smashness has to go over towards the Strange this time, so it's going to be a triple Vanguard for a temporary moment. Invisible Boundary going to be placed right
Match
on top, but a pause to just add to the suspension.
The suspense is real.
Oh
Look at that
my
Mentor
god,
efficient put down
dude.
there on the
Reject
exit to a pentagram
is
of Ferala by
from
Yaki. That means when you get out of the portal, you won't be able to use
the
any
Pacific
movement
region, right?
cooldowns, which is going to make like the debarkation
That's also a
very, very
horrible
perilous.
pause.
I always get baited by that with Invisible Boundary. It's just a big silo in the sky. You know what I mean?
Who put this cylinder in the middle of
Yes,
my
also
map?
I
Yeah,
did
I've
see that
only used
TTK's
one
dead.
type
I
of
did
cylinder
see
in my
that.
game.
Yes,
Thank you very
okay, so the
much.
team is from
Rivals.
Korea, but they
I
are
always
still
get
from the
confused when,
Pacific region.
someone
Like
comes along, who put this
they
cake
played
here?
in Pacific.
Who's
Because there
erected
are
the cake
two
and
different.
put my team
There's
for-
the
Who's responsible for this?
The worst part is when you have two invisible boundaries and you're like, oh, a Venn diagram comment because they're like overlapping each other.
You're bingo baiting right now, and you know it.
Yeah. I mean, has somebody done a bingo card for casters so far? This event?
Only for NA, they hate you.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's like, haha, look at all of these funny.
damn. Only
America's
for
casters,
NA,
Europeans,
they
what are
hate
they?
EMEA.
We don't care for their kind here. Okay, we're ready to continue here to make sure we don't have to do any more disparaging of EMEA as a region.
Our own region, yeah.
Yo, you're playing the game? Okay.
Mighty perilous. Yaki just going to get his money up instead of his funny up here as he moves through a bunch of these players. But Jinx
For
is starting to build
the
one up.
for
So
the
too
Asia
is the
region,
money.
they have
Piggy's
China,
already
which is
used
its own. What do you call
their
it?
team up here with
They have their
the
own
diamond form, and now tries to shut down Lugia. Go the Heartbreaker
like
could be the
matches,
one
and
only
then
thing that Rad can
also
use to turn this
they
one around.
have
They're already starting to
Pacific,
flip
which
the book in
has
their
everyone
favor.
else. And I
Reject
think
don't
even
give it up,
they
we just play the
combined
long
like
game
Australia and
here. However,
Pacific,
Brownie
right,
falling down
chat?
does mean that Reject are lacking options to recontest.
Pacific Asia and Pacific Oceania. I thought they combined it.
One of the better rogues that we've seen, and in that short interim of time where Rogue was meta alongside Gambit and
Yeah,
Playable,
so
it
you
was
have
one of
four
the
different
strongest
regions.
to
You have
work with, but
NA,
the
you have
triple Vanguard might
EMEA,
actually
you have
kinda suit Rad,
Pacific,
because they
and then
wanna
you
play
have
through this
China.
build of these strategist ultimates. They already have got the Royal Flush from Mash, but he's about to go down. He has to use the ultimate, but it's a similar case to the 100 Thieves one. Two of his teammates have gone down.
Great intercession there from Smash Nez. Can Lastro be hunted down is the question. Ducky's looking for a target.
Oh, wait, what? That was such a late reaction. What?
Royal Flush is what did it.
Like,
There
it
was no one
slammed
here
and
to
he didn't
save
even get the
Ducky,
kill.
And Rad still might be in control of the point.
Hey,
They
appreciate
don't
it,
have the
Ethical.
personnel to try and make this one work. The last
That's a
bastion
good
of
watch.
defense in Doctor Strange has fallen. Now Lugia has to step up to the plate.
It's a really good watch.
Can't stand against all of the arrayed weaponry that Reject brought to the interstellar spaceports. And so Brownie's
yeah, the
on
Gambit
the hunt.
proc
There's
combo.
no
Yeah, you're
one to
right.
make the touch happen. And Rad is scuppered away from our first
Dude,
submap.
can you imagine
This could be an
if
interesting
Rad
one. Did any
loses
of us
this?
have Reject and 100 Thieves qualifying? I don't think so.
don't
I think the
know if
closest
we
was
did.
Dogman, but he said Iconic, so
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm saying the closest to us was.
He's either the closest or the most wrong.
That sounds, yeah, that's the dog. It's like
Wow,
Moon Knight,
Brownie
isn't it? The
and
split
Yaki are
personalities of Dogman and Mr. Like,
kind of demolishing
wasn't
right now.
me at all. But like this feels like it might be a shock to some people, like Reject picking up the first map. For us in EMEA, for seeing Rad have these moments is not too surprising. And like,
Don't
the amount of
tell
times that
me
we've interviewed Ducky
that if
after
you
a series
ban
is like, I don't know
Daredevil
how we lost that map, right?
and
Like,
Black
that
Cat,
was something that we shouldn't do.
that Rad just
But they're able
loses.
to sort of
There's
pull back
no
these
way.
situations. And, you know, this map isn't done just yet. It's more the fact that Reject, with this like play around like the Black Widow, it's pulling Rad apart. They're trying to keep together to stop, like, make sure that they can peel for each other for Yaki diving in. But then you saw plays like Smashness stun on his own. Calling card comes out from Yaki. Easy target, completely isolated, and there's nothing that Rad can do. They want to play split, but they also don't want to get taken off one at a time from Yaki.
Oh, is this a new overhead map? Swanky.
Trying to work. It's like the verticality of it, though, is like, are they up or low?
Well, Yaki's going to find those who are moving through the upper areas with relative ease here and at least report back on the movements to the remainder of the team. We can see that Brownie's playing on a very far angle to make sure that there's this constant pincer maneuver that's being threatened by Reject.
Rad sticking to the double hit scan as the ultimate's going to be
Hey,
used for
appreciate
Brownie.
it,
Finds a pick over on
Siphons.
Smash. There's and the leap in the dive attempted from Lugia over on the Rogue. Is it going to be too much as more shots are starting to ring out?
Well, look at the appeal that came through from a Gambit as well with that orb just consistently knocking back
Wait,
the Rogue.
these guys
and
are
she
actually
couldn't
kinda
get on top of
popping,
that
bro.
vulnerable
I thought they were gonna get
Widow.
rolled.
And Reject are once
guys are
again gonna
popping.
win out the first fight here.
It's just how much like Rad can consolidate themselves here because they didn't really have any ultimates to take into this next round. A lot was dedicated, including like the Gambit ultimate, him and Lastro for Mash, trying to see if they could build up stuff quicker, but it is going to be Reject that have a lot more to work with ultimate-wise, certainly with the fate of both worlds.
All right, Piggy looking to try and put themselves into the path of the offense, and the swap over here onto the Angela is certainly going to be interesting. Out comes the Glatrox, but it's just instantly burst down. There
Oh
are so
no,
many
bro.
guns. And Yaki on the other side
Oh
used the
no,
calling card to
chat,
decimate Smash.
bro.
There's no
Nothing
using its
is
mobility
going
tool to
well for
chase
Rad
after
right
the
now.
Angela, who used their Assassin's Shard to try and get away, but cannot outrun the bullets. I'm sure that one came through from Brownie, and Yaki is still resetting off the back of the calling card, certainly feeling himself right now as if they force a disengage from Rad.
That one-sided bans that's come in on the Black Cat on one side, like making sure that Crazy Kitty can't go for the melee characters himself. itself has actually done wonders for Reject with the space that they're creating, and RAD in this kind of environment are going to be floundering a little bit more. They want to create some space with Lugia switching over towards the Angela. They find in this space an opening, but Reject are sitting comfortably.
All right, Vertigo has that Eternal Bond. Rare to see the Cloak and Dagger come out. Smashness is already down, by the way, and they were going to be one of the primary players to try and turn this one around. Back up onto the Terra Firma is Piggy, having used their Diamond Form Grab to make sure that they could get back onto that. Mash9's fallen as well, and it seems that this
Bro,
might be
what are you guys saying that you're going to lose money because of me? I voted for RAD to win this. I am very surprised like you guys.
And it's Smashness that keeps going down first every single time, and it's not like, you know, Yaki, what we saw before, or the players from Aconix where you're going for the Black Cat, you get caught like in the flank. You're playing Black Widow. You're as far away as the action as you could be, so you're finding yourself maybe too isolated. You're not getting the peel that you need. And even with Vertigo and the Luna, you don't have the snowflakes.
Bro, can you... Wait, what's the prediction? We got to look at it again. Can you imagine if Reject wins this?
That in the back as well. Already to have fallen down. Vertigo and Crazy Kitty. There's nothing to be seen. Assassin's precision around the back. Yeah, Ducky's going to be hit with the banhammer, but I think that this one might already be over. A clean sweep for Reject.
Wait.
Out of Asia with the intent to make it to playoffs.
A 7% prediction.
Game mode that we consistently start
if
on.
RAD loses this, it is a 1 to 4, almost 14 return ratio, bro.
Game mode that, like, has been
a 1 to 14 return ratio. Wait.
They don't really have something that they're consistently relying on. There'd be stuff like Central Park, they're 1 and 4 on. Jalia, it's like maybe 2 and 3. Like, there's no map that they, okay, we picked this because we're like 6 and 1.
If you put a $250,000 bet, you're winning $3.5 million.
Picking as their map choice, they don't have to worry about domination anymore. But you need to find a map that Reject
if you put $250,000, you are winning
big investment here.
So much money.
Throwing so many of their bans over towards Crazy Kid, and I thought that maybe it was going to be difficult when you saw the Thing get banned. Crazy Kid moved over towards the Wolf.
What do you mean? This is why you don't trust Jay3. I haven't gotten a single prediction wrong.
It's very rare we see a team completely able to no-sell that Wolverine when they got the Gambit team up for the extra speed.
It just feels like one of those instances where, like,
if you guys were hanging on off the side of a building and I was the only person there standing above you that could pull you up, you guys would trust me with your life.
Best of 5s in one day, a little bit staggered out. But this on land is pretty much okay. You just lost. You're pretty much straight into like the next.
What do you mean? No, you guys would rather like go.
Able to keep up. Reject have done well.
No, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
Had a gap, and then we're able to sort of play again.
That is crazy, bro.
Feel a little bit more warmer to the touch, I suppose, with how they're playing here. RAD, they just need to not panic. Like, this is such a unique experience for them. Reject have a lot more experience with playing on land, and it could be very easy to be like, oh, we're out before the final whistle.
I just watched the story of Jay3. How does your dad have more hair than you and your brother combined?
Gaming in general, they've played other games before.
Mods, you can ban that guy.
Level. When it comes to having the pressure pile on, these are players who know how to buckle down, how to lock in, and RAD, like, this is a very young roster. Like we've said, they've come from MRC. These guys have been thrust by raw talent into this spot. But when the lights
Where's
get so
Boba?
bright, that's when you are at the most dangerous.
Boba's cheating on me. He's in Emily's room.
Highlights. You've got to look at, like, Yaki as being superb, but Brownie, especially, it was like Delana early on 100 Thieves, like, the Black Widow is opening up the game so much, and I can't believe that that is a sentence that has come out of my mouth for the esports scene, but it really is the case of just this character just really stretches out what teams are used to playing with the front to back, with a more death ball approach. It just really isolates some of these targets. And
you know, to be honest with you,
it just cuts through
I think RAD could have won this. You know what RAD could have done to win this, chat?
This was like that was such a disgusting frag to find.
If RAD actually gave me a $400,000 contract for just the weekend, I would have showed up as Bucky and I would have hooked that Black Cat over and over, and they would have not been a problem. We would have won.
Seems a lot less confident. Yeah, on the Black Widow compared to Brownie, who is really getting quite audacious with these angles or playing it safe next to the Gambit while Yaki like assumes all of a risk. And we see some great peeling as well come from Lastro using that Magneto team up on top of their Black Widow.
Jay3, I am 7 feet tall, 280 pounds of muscles. Can you pull me up?
Just can't stay in contact with her.
You're that short?
Lastro, the best way to describe him is the whole like call an ambulance, but not for me, mate. Like, certainly as a strategist, like he is offensive in his strength. And I think the next map that we are going to is the map choice that RAD went for against 100 Thieves, Jalia, which you could understand if they're attacking first. That first point take against 100 Thieves and second was so quick. It was just on that third point and they weren't able to push nearly enough to make it a competitive map at the end.
Who's the host with the gray hair? That's Leg Day.
Fall of Jalia is actually an outlier in that this is one of the only maps where we see Hella Namor come out as a DPS duo. And maybe those duelists will be what Smashness and Crazy Kitty opt into, given that they have leaned into this in the past. Smashness is a very proficient Hella player, and Hella's got a reasonable matchup against Black Widow as well.
It depends how much, I mean, for Reject, you'd imagine it's going to be more of the same, like the Black Cat Daredevil bans, whether there's going to be
Hey, appreciate it, Sauce. I met Leg Day today, awesome guy. Oh, I love Leg Day. I've known him for years. He's a really good caster, and I'm glad that
so you do get that protect a little bit like later on, certainly for that second.
I'm glad that he's
not going to be banned out right
popping off.
End.
Because I don't think he chat was Leg Day in the Overwatch League. He wasn't in the Overwatch League. I remember he used to do like the tier 2, tier 3 tournaments, but he was never in the Overwatch League, I believe, right?
Because of the full push towards the end, we have seen that change around, but it does look like it is going to be RAD attacking first. And
hey, appreciate you, Start.
Onus on them to actually go for protecting like Black Cat or Daredevil.
Do we continue seeing Reject go down this path though? Just banning out Crazy Kitty's more impactful.
I bet we will never see the new map in Jubilee this whole week of Ignite matches. We already saw Jubilee, and also I don't think any team is going to go to. I don't think the teams can take you to the new map because the new map just dropped, and there's no teams that have any practice or any of that. So
because they could see all the maneuvers that would come through from either Crazy Kitty or Smashness.
For all our listeners at home,
also that must be a great feeling.
Black Cat was protected first, which shows like
I met Cozy, and a lot of people came up to me and asking if I was TTK's dad. It feels awesome. That must be a great feeling.
So this is not too surprising, and I like that RAD have done this because
I hope
some teams do try to play
when I have a kid someday
strong, we're gonna just play
that
a really default draft.
They end up taking my genetics and being a god gamer, and I could be proud of my son. You guys think that will be happening, chat?
Okay, now Reject know that they can ban away both the Gambit and the Magneto, which is going to complicate RAD's formation a touch, but honestly, there's a world where RAD don't really need to.
And he will be bald. First of all, that's not true. It's the wife's
approaches towards that first point.
Dad.
And I think it's one of these moments as well where teams get.
No, is it the wife's dad?
Like they get so focused in on what's meta. That they don't really like rely on what they're strong at, and RAD know where their bread is buttered with something like this. Like
yeah, it's the wife's dad.
Going to be available on other sides. You might be able to get a protect here on Gambit, but it is going to be banned out. Loki is almost premeditatively set up to make sure that Lastro and Seung-Hoon can't run that same backline that they were running against the likes of Acronics that we saw just earlier today.
Perhaps there's a world where we see a protect on either a Vanguard or a strategist here for the side of RAD. Maybe something like a Rocket to allow.
Anyone, first time watching Marvel Pros, anyone, oh my god, is this guy yelling at his teammates? I mean, his people? Oh my. Wait, chat, was he mad?
With the danger of that constant knockback of
yes, a few pros use controller. TTK is one of them.
Luna's good. Luna Gambit, just to make sure that, yeah, if we're going up against a Black Cat, we can work here. And a Black Widow ban, first of its kind, I think, in Ignite, right? Like
a Black Widow ban.
Shiny almost, you could sort of look at it in that case. But Luna is going to be protected on the other side, meaning that there is a little bit more like offensive capability with no Gambit available. You have to imagine that it's going to be MASH that's going to go over towards it.
Okay, both teams have the Black Widow confiscated from their pools, but honestly, I think if you're RAD, you're fairly happy with this because Smashness, I don't think this is the greatest part of their pool right now. They'd much rather be on something like the Elsa or the Psylocke or the Star-Lord. And matching up with those, like,
and also, yeah, there will be more controller players, I think, tomorrow as well.
And also, Crazy Kitty gets the option to move over here onto the Daredevil, because for a second that you protect the Black Cat.
Also, like, yeah, that is very interesting. Reject did not ban either or, but they banned three.
And I think some of those instances
they have a one-sided Gambit.
It's going to be hovering over the Hela at least to begin with, and Crazy Kitty, whilst the Black Cat's in there, it does almost protect the fact that Daredevil's not going to get banned either, so he does have the option to play it. One of those few instances, but for RAD, they wanted to go a little bit further than play-ins. I mean, the organization has a title to try and fight for again as mid-season finals champions of last year. A different squad, a greener squad that is facing potential elimination on this first day of action here in LA. Reject
Oh, I don't have a
Trying to sort of
command for
break
that yet.
some
I should probably make one.
predictions
My
are
bad.
Plenty, but they're defending first as RAD and Jellia want to at
This
least
is
make it 1-for-1
the these are the
today.
play-in matches.
1-for-1 they would like.
Tomorrow's
to
the
not
actual
lose
bracket.
out on their spots
Actually,
in the
I can
plains. A
get
lot
that
of us
for you.
predicted that RAD would be able to make it out of his
I think it's
bracket,
MRI.
but maybe the power level coming out of Asia has been a little bit undervalued.
It's going to be hella on both sides, actually. Going to see a little bit
Yeah,
of the
it's like
change
some-
up as
it's
Brownie's going
this
to be
right
over
here,
on
sorry.
that side. And Luke
This
is still
one.
dedicating towards the diving hope to see if
I'm
he
gonna
can
change
make it look
my
a little bit better than
MRI
it did
command.
against 100 Thieves.
Interesting, and it is going to allow Crazy Kitty to have a little bit more
MRI.
bulk when they go in for these engagements. Lugia is buying so much space here, but going up against both of these strategists for so many
Racket.
CCs to try and deal with. You can see that already they got anti-healed actually being chased down by the Gambit, who has no fear in
you go.
their heart when it comes to the Hulk. And now
Chat, if you guys
Yaki's
need to know the bracket,
can
type exclamation mark
activate, moving
MRI.
towards that back line, getting his money up onto a low-key doppelganger.
Otter!
And
Appreciate it,
Biggie
my
is just
friend.
making sure that there's no space to work with for Crazy Kitty. Yaki gets himself a double onto the back line. Perfect play.
It's pulling apart in this dive immediately for
Oh!
RAD. He is forced to switch again. And it's these kind of moments where I see RAD just like playing sort of like musical chairs with the heroes that they're playing. I'm like, uh-oh. This already looks a little bit more uncomfortable, but they want to go for something to dive alongside Crazy Kitty. Ducky's over on a Deadpool Vanguard, has got the band hammer if he wants to use it, but Crazy Kitty now switching over towards the Black Cat, feeling that that's going to be a bit more poised to break whatever Reject's defense is.
With every single second, the pressure mounts here. This is what LAN is all about. It's not only is it about the pressure, it's about whether
Crazy
you have
Kitty
the
got off
strength
the
of
Daredevil
will
and
to
went,
rise
the
to
Kitty.
meet it, and
Uh-oh.
RAD are up against the wall. They've got no more mulligans, no more second chances.
Remember,
This is where
chat,
a
if
lot
RAD
of EMEA
loses this,
teams
they're
do
out.
like
They're out of
start
the
to
tournament.
shine. Backs against the wall, numbers down. RAD wants to show that they're in amongst the pigeons, certainly with teams like Heritage left at home.
Oh,
And
we
Yaki
have
has
a
found
better
himself the
Kitty.
enemy of Crazy Kitty with that switch over. Black Cat's taking chunks out of each other, and now the backline diving a little bit more. But Last just found himself another one.
Trying to find this undefended underbelly. Maybe he can cleave through both of them. A quick roll in towards the back and an iframe as well as multiple players marked. Luke has already tried to make the space, moving over towards Sunghoon, and they've fallen on down. Ducky hits the headshot that's needed to find the frag, and the follow-through is good here. A fully charged up Axe of Icors begins to push on through, and the landing zone of Angela did so much damage, but Lastro's the one
Damn,
to
they
fall
capped
to it,
it.
and RAD
Hey, they
finally
capped
are
it.
back in control, and they got the car
Is that
moving
one
with 4
speed, Jay?
minutes and
Yeah,
20
this is one
seconds to
speed,
go.
chat.
Not
This
as
is not
fast as it was against
fast.
100 Thieves, but still pretty
This
fast
is just-
when
this is
all
just
things
how the
considered.
game
Reject
is
looked like
played.
they were sort of winning out on those fights. Crazy Kitty finds a bit more, and Lugia just goes for the flank, shuts the door behind Reject. They're forced to take a fight that they really don't want to be a part of. And the fact that they were staggered as well means that there's a bit more of a window for RAD to get into position. We just don't want to see the likes of Crazy Kitty being caught out in this like neutral engagement with both teams not having ultimates in hand just yet.
Reject now. They haven't really got early resources. They're looking for Lastro to try and help them build those.
I
up
think
with,
they
like,
had
the
no player.
region
They
growth
used to
flushing.
have
They
player
don't feel
cams in the
because we
beginning
can't
of the day, but I think they
amplify
took it
Vertigo.
down
Sure,
because
let's try and claim initiative here
they
and
weren't
go
really working.
first.
They were showing this. They were showing players' face cams, but with the wrong names. I think they have to fix it for tomorrow. Also, they haven't done any player
Alright,
voice-ins or
does get
something.
resurrected by the Battle Recall Beacon, but Mash needs plenty
Listen-ins.
of peel. Looks like they may have disconnected temporarily. Might be calling for a pause, or potentially a reset was called there by RAD, but they're going to be kind of regretting that one as they still invested the Cosmic Yarn Amplifier, which is a major tool for them.
Sort of building up a good pace. Fate of both worlds is handy. Duelists might have a lot to try and go in for this fight. The Smashdez wants to try and contest this high ground. This is exactly why Hella is so meta on this map. Just with where
Also, this is the first time we've seen Hella.
All right, aim check coming through, courtesy of the ban. Hammer in towards the back. Multiple players.
No other teams were using
under
Hella.
Brownie by the descent of the Angel. Mash falls low, loses out on the Goddess of Death. Only one player, Brownie, is caught on the outside, but I believe they're cleansed there by the Gambit.
It was good movement as well, using the changes to the Crow to actually dash out and bunny hop a little bit, but Brownie's still caught by the Heaven's Retribution.
What's up? You
Able
were
to
calling me?
survive. Calling card for Crazy Kitty now. Wants to see if he can force out more of these like resources to keep the sustain up for Reject, but Fate of both worlds used perfectly by Sunghoon.
Disgusting Ring of Zonai to escape there as well by Crazy Kitty, but Mash
Ooh,
can't get up to smash
Smashnez.
theirs, and nor can they get over the Crazy Kitty. It's a very sad dance floor that Luna dances alone upon here as Yaki goes towards the back. The Devil's been
Dude.
unleashed, and Vertigo's found out the hard way that Asia's here to
Dude.
stay, here to play.
You take that a little bit for Rad, but he
Yo,
forced out, like,
if
4
Rejects
ultimates
wins
all in
this, I
pretty
wouldn't
quick
even be
succession,
mad.
maybe even 5 in the end. The
I
only one
would
they have
not
available
even
now
be
for
mad
Reject
if
that's getting
Rejects
close
wins this, bro.
is going to be that royal flush for last.
We need, like
don't need to do this
some of
fast.
the
We're not really that
Asia
close
teams to
ultimate,
do
so
well,
that's
man.
the problem.
We
And
need
Vertigo
some of
actually
them to
switching
do
over
well.
towards
Last
the White
time in the
Fox
tournament,
means that
chat, they
they're
haven't
somewhat of the
not
way building
been-
up towards that
They haven't been doing well, man.
Almost there for now. Lastro just staying on this perch, trying to make themselves difficult to get to without huge investment of resources.
It's all about playing for this high ground, though.
I don't know if it would shake up a lot. I mean, it would kind of fuck over my predictions because I have Rad winning this, but
Crazy Kitty switching back again to Daredevil.
All right, Vanhammer, good to go, putting it onto the Lunar Snow. Often can be well placed, and indeed Sunghoon's going to be the recipient of that one. You can see the attempted peel coming through from Matthew Murdoch, getting the charm as well. The control is there. Ducky has to exit and get themselves a quick upgrade on the other side, but Lastro lies in wait. The Raging Royal Flush, at least onto the remainder of Reject now, as Rad have to try and disengage and kite this one away, but there's so much speed coming through from Yaki. Still, it seems that Smashnez is going to be the sacrificial lamb. Crazy Kitty driven back into the melee by Piggy, and Rad is just losing so much space here.
And it was just off, like I mentioned, like Rad used so many ultimates. The only one that they had was the Royal Flush, but they got so much out of it. Rad are building up stuff, but it's pretty much going to be met now. There's only 45 seconds left to try to push past this the second checkpoint, and they're just constantly being reset in clean team fights. Rad are just like, oh, we've lost enough. We're just going to actually just drop completely.
They had to go over onto the White Fox. He's going to have a lot of trouble dealing with his poke, but at least doesn't worry so much about Yaki's approach.
We've got the team up at the very least, but strategist ultimates are plenty. You just need to try and go in and work in these kind of fights and engagements. You've got a Goddess of Death on the other side for Brownie. And both Angelos take it to the sky to see if the airport is going to be very close for either of them, potentially, as they're fighting for it all. Rad especially have so much to work with, 10 seconds left.
Brownie takes to the skies, says, I hope
and this is a best of 3.
This time, as Vertical has to unleash the Kumiho in order to try and waylay the assault that's coming their way. Piggy sends out their doppelganger. The unacknowledged of Odin will make their way forward, and Piggy's ready to try and fight Heaven's Retribution towards the back. Yaki overextended, and Mash is there with the counter play, but Reject can just play this one slowly because there's still some space to give up.
The aerial duels.
Let's see this. Let's see this.
Seeing if they can fight for
Reject has some good ults here, chat. Let's see what they do here.
Now, as Banhammer's going to be used on both sides. Reject trying to sustain this one a little bit more. Crazy Kitty going down.
Both supports forced out the support ult. They had the better support ult. They had the better support ult. Dance. Dance.
Brownie falls, but Smash is on the other side. Yaki's tied to a post, but it doesn't matter. He's still just swinging away. The Devil's Chain. You can't put a him because he's
Reject can win this.
Of demonic forces.
Oh my God, yo! Reject can win this.
Fall in their path.
Rad can't quite even push the distance.
Yo, who's from EMEA right now, chat? Who's from Europe, bro? What's going on over there, man?
Here, and Rad's defense
your third place EMEA team is losing right now. What's going on?
Fight to live another day. Really enjoying seeing like the Angela head-to-heads
more like
happening in the sky, just to sort of maintain
PU,
the speed and positioning.
Get it?
But it's like when the Heaven's Retribution comes in onto a Daredevil, and it's like, I'm just going to, it's an AoE ult. I'm chained to the fence, but I'm feral, and you're getting way too close to me. Yaki has been superb. Both of the duelists are showing up massively here. And it just feels like in some of these instances, Rad are not quite gelling in the same succinct style that Reject have been so well known for in Pacific. A lot of the talent have said, like, don't write these guys off. I just didn't expect that Reject would be the ones taking the chunk out of Rad in this case. Certainly going towards play-ins.
Rad, a new team here, as we've alluded to many times, don't have the LAN experience. And potentially their first LAN experience, having flown thousands of miles, could be cut short in the next 6 minutes if Reject can make it to their goal.
We're so excited to see these guys. The majority of this team from Chopped, which were the 4th place finishers before Grand Finals at Atlanta. We sent 3 teams from EMEA, so they were very close. Unsigned squad. Now under Rad that has jumped back into the region after winning the region with mid-season finals with the Rad team of last year, now Na'Vi. Reject.
Man, I can't believe this, bro. I had Rad winning this too, bro. I'm about to
really want to sort of set the same level as they did last time.
I'm just surprised that the underdog is winning.
Early portal will offer some safety for the backline of Reject, placing themselves up on high ground and forcing a reactive rotation from Rad.
You got Ducky that's over on the Groot as well on this defense. That's like well known for it, big ultimates, but they haven't quite connected so far this event. And certainly when you've got a Gambit and a Luna on the other side, that's a lot of cleanses, even if those ultimates do connect.
Ducky off with a ramp to make sure that those without vertical mobility could get up onto the high ground, and Reject have started to throw down the gauntlet, accruing the percentage towards the capture on the objective. Smashness has to decide where they want to try and really put all of their priority. It seems that Piggy's going to be the first one chosen. The Doctor Strange is getting a little bit too deep for my liking here, and so will be punished. And Reject haven't really been able to get too much off the back of the positions that they claimed off the back of that portal.
Yeah, Daredevil doesn't see much, but he sees plenty of gargoyles over on the cathedrals, the church that he's sort of known to go to. And that defense is a good, solid hold to begin with for Reject as they're forced to reset. Changing up, Gargoyle's going to move away from the Deadpool Vanguard over towards Emma Frost, which, you know, great for finding these ultimates to cause chaos for RAD, which they're sort of known and prone to fall too, right? Just, you're not waiting for those big ultimates. It can come out at any time. It's just whether the likes of Mash and Vertigo are going to be prepared or not.
Great neutral matchup against the Groot as well. Being able to farm those walls for the energy on the primary fire and then become an absolute DPS machine. You can see that Gargoyle is taking a lot of that responsibility. Happy to do the admin because they will be rewarded.
Reject is getting a little too overconfident. Chat, bro. They get to be overconfident, bro.
And now the alarms
They're cooking.
The panic begins. A bubble popped by the Groot. It needs to be a turnaround on the backhand side. The Crazy Kitty doesn't have any health to try and make this one work. Diego's got no heals, but chases on the Tadid. And indeed, the demon has been vanquished, exercised from the back line. Yaki's still on the chase, but decides to
dude, oh my god, the movement. Oh my god, the movement.
So relies on the remainder of Rejects to try and claim this point, and they will readily do so.
4.5 minutes.
The matchup's been good with the Angela, and we're sort of used to Lugia doing a lot of work in the MEA, but like Gargoyle has, Piggy's been consistently doing that, even like in some of those qualification games. Reject have been known to have like very flexible Vanguard lines, and I think that's the main thing that's shining here.
RAD hot take, chat. Spades, but it's just hot take. If Reject was playing against this, like this against 100 Thieves, I think it would have been. I think it would have been a lot closer.
The pressure is real, and RAD have no more points to give, no more chance at forgiveness. And Brownie certainly not going to be willing to forgive here as the monster is unleashed towards the back. Seems to have not grabbed too much here. Was hoping for a Vanguard. Instead, they will grab nothing, but what an ante coming through from Lastro. Oh, Captain, my Captain, he's getting it done. Yaki versus Crazy Kitty.
I didn't know I was playing for Reject.
So much, but
and playing their, and playing their Elsa.
Smashness has their mind broken under the gaze of Emma Frost.
The Crazy Kitty, not quite feral and certainly paling in the size of the Yak himself. It's been so good, even though there wasn't much grabbed in from the ultimate from the Apex Predator. It split everybody enough for Yaki to find a picks. He has got the ultimate for Daredevil, and there's so little space to work with.
This is the biggest upset I've ever seen in my life.
The end. Is anybody even
this is the biggest upset I've ever seen in my life.
It's going to be coming back here with the Raging Royal Flush. It's going to be so difficult for RAD to try and rebuff the next battle that comes through.
I do think it's a lack of experience, though. Reject has a lot of ex-Overwatch League players who have played on LAN. Maybe RAD is like, you know, maybe they are nervous. Maybe they are playing on LAN. Maybe the what do you call it? Pressure is getting to them.
Yaki towards the back, the Devil ready to be unleashed, but instead they can just wait it out because they see that the Luna's dancing on the floor. Crazy Kitty gonna try and get the value off the back of this one, and Sunghoon rolls on forward as well. Damage boost onto Piggy. Heaven's Retribution will be found, but will Asia's Retribution be here as they look to try and slay the seed from EMEA that wants to take them from the tournament. Now it's Yaki's turn to unleash, going over onto their counterpart of Crazy Kitty as the Devil's Chain is unleashed, and so too is the Emma Frost ultimate for a lot in the action.
It's a scrappy battle in the end, but RAD is still holding on for a bit of time. Crazy Kitty finds that pick onto Brownie, closes the distance after Let the Devil Out was used in from Lackey, but there's still 5 plays from Reject, still fighting this. They're not disengaged in the same way that RAD did on the tag. They still want to claw things back if they possibly can, knowing that RAD are going to run out of steam eventually, seeing if they can just find
Yo, what's up, TDK? How you doing? How you doing?
And RAD maybe
I heard you betted on us. That is true. I had you guys winning.
Energy to work with. There's one ult, one tick on the board, and that's going to be Brownie here with the
I also voted on RAD winning this, but it doesn't look like it. You played against Rejects. Rejects a good team. I mean, it looks like they're.
And out comes the beast. But will the Apex Predator be found? They're trying to get.
Oh, okay, that was a little better, Brownie. That's one more person than you hit last time. That's a W.
This is going to give a momentary respite to RAD.
Smashness has been a hero, though. He's found 2 picks to trade this out just in favor, and now Reject.
I've never seen Jay3 happier when he's watching Marvel Rival tournaments. Love you, Jay. Hey, W, my friend, W. I love watching Marvel Rival tournaments. It gives me a break to also not play this game, which I love. Also, I'm old. My arthritis is hurting, so I have to take a break. Watching tournaments give me that break.
Royal flush on the one side of Gambit about to come online for Lastro.
Pressure rising, heart rate pumping, neurons firing here for RAD. They are within spitting distance of taking themselves to a map number 3, but they know that they still have to deal with the final boss of that Raging Royal Flush. Smashnez gives over a little bit of space here, puts down the trap in order to fuel for their backline. Lastro's
okay, chat, 40 seconds left, 40 seconds left. Yo, RAD can still win this.
And do Reject want to try and play this one with 38 seconds? Surely they're just going to wait for their better
I'm going to do the
opportunity.
gamer pose, chat. I'm going to do the gamer pose. I'm locked in here, dude. I'm locked in.
Smashnez, he has been the cool, calm, collected one on his team to just keep RAD in it. There's enough to try to work with, but this is looking like it's going to be the overtime finish. Whether Reject's going to win this one 2-0 or RAD's going to bring us to a third.
20 seconds, 20 seconds, 20 seconds. Both teams have both support ults.
As Piggy just gives a love tap here and there, letting their presence be known. Lastro still leads that last 2% here for the Raging Royal Flush. They can make Gargoyle move forward rather quickly.
Oh, they both knocked each other.
Is going to be there, but still Lastro and Sunghoon have so much to work with. The space is given. It needs to be now. There's no room to disengage. The extra damage is there. Ducky is going to quack his last potentially.
Oh, they grabbed him.
Vertigo needs to get the
He's not dying.
fate of both worlds. The healing's good, but they've been forced away from
Brownie's
the
down.
Brownie's been taken down. Piggy lands with an almighty roar.
Yaki, Yaki, get your ult, Yaki. Get your ult, Yaki. Yaki.
Critical assault.
Vertigo copied
He gets
the
it.
Gambit ultimate.
Pop
he
it.
went in and tried to go
Pop
big, but
it.
might have just
What are you saving your ult for? Marvel Rivals 2?
Ducky's also arrived, having opened the pentagram for all of us.
Pop it.
Reject surely in towards the back. Up comes the regeneration, the main. Gargoyle's going to be the prime brawler here, but inside of regeneration, the main, the damage is going to be too much to bear. A blocking off of the sightlines means the healing cannot be delivered. Yaki's
Pop
there
it.
just
He
in
popped
time
it.
to let the devil out, but as they
He
all
popped
turn
it.
upon him, surely there's going to be too much damage.
Yaki!
And RAD refused to kneel, and they refused to bend. Reject will not stamp their ticket this time.
The cat is out of the bag as Crazy Kitty has found himself free right at the end there to try to hold on. And backs to the wall. They managed to bring us to a third round. And that might be the difference maker to bring
They
these
were
animals
dominating
out
the
on
whole
land,
game.
out on stage.
You
Rejects
have the chance
have the
to
map
finish
choice at the
it,
very
and
least
they
going to a map
fumbled,
3,
bro. They
but
fumbled their
Smashnez,
chance.
Really, the play that has been missing a little bit so far on the side of RAD just settled things up and set the stage up for a map 3 in this like final play-in game.
At least we're going to a match 3. That's pretty good.
Out of my chest, I can't imagine how it is for
That's pretty good. Okay, chat. I gotta go pee real quick before this last game. So give me 2 seconds. That was awesome.
Going to be a key.
I cannot believe, bro. Come on, man. You guys are better than this.
Where he is strongest.
I mean, that was
I
the thing
cannot
before. I think when it
believe.
came
Look.
to like the Black Widow head-to-head against
Look how
Delana,
stressed
Delana
I am.
just
Look at
beat
my hair.
Smashnez, like full stop. But it's like the
How
pull
did
as
they
well,
not
like,
win
yeah, you got
that?
the Black Cat protect. It's the fact that it was like, okay, they got Black Cat, we're not going to ban out Daredevil on that side.
Okay,
so
give me
there
a
was
second.
still some
I gotta
freedom.
go
And I
pee,
think
chat.
Crazy Kitty did a lot more on the Daredevil there than the Black Cat. It's just about like having the options and forcing Reject to go in a different direction with their bans. I also think they're just making sure that Reject weren't able to get the Loki, did a lot in the end, even though they're comfortable. Like Lastro is so good at Gambit and Luna. It's like, which one do you actually want to see him on and pick in this case? But I'm really glad that this has gone the distance. Not only that we get to see more RAD and I don't leave with complete egg on my face, it's also just that Reject are really showing that they deserve to be here and one of the strong teams in this internationally.
Both RAD and I need a breather, as do our team. So we'll send you over to our analyst desk to break it all down.
Break it down, we shall. Pushed to the limit. RAD, bring it back. That was close, guys.
I was afraid this is how we found out we were witches and we were going to get thrown in the river because we cast or cursed them. I thought we'd cursed them, but I'll tell you what, the bounce back.
I cursed them in the first series too. I was like, oh no.
No, you actually are. You're getting tossed in the river. But no, it's, I mean, that was crazy. It was a bit of a choke job too. I've got to be honest. I think that was absolutely a reject win condition. I think RAD stepped up in that moment, started switching up the comp. There's a lot of switching early, right? And that was tricky.
I mean, you wanted to talk about this. Let's talk about it here. Lugia bringing out the Angela at the end, but they have been rotating through a lot of heroes so far this tournament ship.
Yeah, I like the Angela ending. I wasn't sure about the, the first KO was on Hulk, right? Then they made the switch.
Rogue as well.
Yeah, then to Rogue, which I'm also not like 100% sold on right now. I think it's very difficult to stay healthy. And yeah, the Venom at one point, a lot of switching, but then as soon as Angela came on the field, it was like a whole new game, and it helped a ton.
It did seem to make a difference. We saw a little bit of both team-ups for Angela as well. We saw the Starla team-up for Vision against the Black Cat, and then we even saw, of course, the Hela team-up for the absolutely just bodying people, taking them off the point, which is scary to deal with, and both of them were using that to great effect. But as the casters mentioned, Smashness VOD really showing up during that series.
I mean, the Elsa play, we've been waiting to see someone really pop off on this hero. We've seen some great work from Black Widow. We've seen some good Buckies, but like Elsa's been just lacking, it felt like. Maybe because in a lot of scrims it's been banned out, so people aren't as practiced on it as they would like to be. But now we got to see, you know, Brownie go toe-to-toe with Smashness, and of course Smashness was able to clutch up towards the end. Staying alive, I think, was the big name of the game towards the end here for RAD, and the factor that, like the way that they were able to kite every single time the damage came out, push at the right moment, use all their cooldowns, and take out members periodically from Reject, that got them the win in the end.
This is such an important moment, getting that win, and we were talking about it a little bit during the breaks while we were watching the games here. The experience difference between these two teams when it comes to international events is stark shib. We have Reject, who have basically been to every single event in one form or another under Crazy Kitty or Reject. Most of these players have played every event so far. RAD, MASH. MASH showed up for OUG at the Grand Finals, meaning that he is coming in to basically be the one person with the LAN experience in Marvel Rivals. But now they've had that moment of massive stress. You lost in your most important game potentially so far, and you just brought it back, and now you get a break to mentally reset. That could be huge, Ship.
I'm with you. I think we talked about this right prior. I think it's the brightest lights so far, right? This is the very end. You move or go home, and this is where you start to see the real grit of the team. And if they're able to show up, and in beginning, especially on Dom, I was like, Reject, and maybe Rad doesn't have it, started bouncing back. What do you think?
I felt like Yaki was just diffing Crazy Kitty at the start there, right, on the Black Cat. It just was not working. The save, they were like, okay, we didn't get to use the Black Cat and the Daredevil last time. Maybe that's why we lost. Sure. No, it was just Yaki was doing so good on it as well. And unfortunately, it forced them for Reject to actually make it so that RAD locked in even more so. I think if we didn't see as much of a struggle from Crazy Kitty at the start, they might have gotten a little bit too just comfortable towards the end, but they were not in their comfort zone. They had to swap on the fly, and it actually found a comp that worked for them.
Let's play off of what our casters were talking about a little bit here. Important bans. In the first series, we saw the ban onto both the Black Cat and the Daredevil. In the second series, we started to see the Black Widow being banned away. Which one, Shib, is more important when it comes to this?
I mean, right now, I would say Brownie on Widow was the reason they won domination. I think the off-angle plays, the picks were consistent, huge ults in moments that were crucial. I think it's got to be Widow.
Yeah, the Widow was a big difference maker there, and of course we are going to the old faithful Museum of Contemplation. I know Cake's
I've never seen this map.
With that as well. We've seen this so often in Pacific. This is just a fan favorite for everyone who's been watching and playing in that region for sure. But
okay,
even
I'm
that,
sorry, did I
mean,
miss anything?
is the comfort zone.
I'm back from the bathroom. My bad.
They go to it for a reason.
Speaking of comfort, a quick point that these players are playing on the Black Shark V3 Pro from Razer.
You're a little bit behind. You guys always say that, and I'm not.
The Razer Black Shark V3 Pro, available for PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. So all these players will be in comfort when it comes to that. But like I already mentioned, comfort, this is the go-to map in every single region. When you look at the statistics, the most played maps were usually Dons because they were auto-picked first time, and then it was Museum basically across the board.
We've only had like Midtown for the Convoy as the difference.
Okay,
in
we
terms
were
of, like,
pretty far behind. How? Okay, we were like
maps that people have played
5,
so far in the
10
plans
seconds
today.
behind.
So hopefully we get a little bit more variety tomorrow, since we'll have more matches going on then throughout the bracket stage. But yeah, I think we'll see the typical 3-3 comp from
saying my bad for using the bathroom is wild. I hate being. Listen, you guys come here for me. I hate being like not at my computer.
Important ban though, if you are
like
RAD, is that
I hate going away from my
the
computer.
extra res, and also using the infinite ammo with the Punisher for spawn break is huge.
Yeah, I'm with you. And just piggybacking off your point, I think, we will see.
I feel like it's very disrespectful that you guys come to my stream and then or any stream and then they just leave for a very long time. I think it's just
maybe to see something different.
That's not what you guys came here for.
It's just the map that they're choosing. But yeah, I would expect later on as we get deeper into the tournament, some of those more unique maps.
I just don't have my depends, chat. When I get my diapers, I can just piss myself and
just how much
I won't have to go to the bathroom.
Have changed. We are talking about just how much RAD brought it back in this series, but the fact is they brought it back. When we were heading into this, it was over. Like, RAD have basically got this, and then immediately, despite us potentially being non-believers, what a shout out.
What number did you wear in football, high school? I wore 13.
Region, including Keg, who was in the crowd and was talking up Reject to me the entire time during the last series, just saying, oh no, it's got Reject going through. And right now, they might be onto something because Reject are now the team that is in the lead, and RAD are the ones who are fighting from behind. They've only just evened it up. Rodable.
Damn, their coach is like fucking serious in this shit, bro. I like that. That guy's very passionate. Why 13? It's just the number that my coach gave me, and then I love the number 13 now. Some people think 13 is a bad like lucky number, or no? It's my favorite number. With the number 3, of course.
That is true. You see the lock in here of the Loki. I think we talk about Loki a ton. That damage boost with those crystals is just
Hey, appreciate it, Bubba T.
You can do some serious work. The healing
Okay, guys, last match. Last match.
With Mantis, but obviously Mantis has been
tied 1-1. Who wins? Who wins? I hope RAD. I hope Reject
the invulnerability,
bans.
regeneration domain, and of course.
Ooh, is RAD gonna save one of the characters now?
Important ults, because if your opponent gets a strategist, you don't.
Wait,
just nick
all of
it.
Djalia
Just nick their ult when you
convergence.
need it.
Wait.
We'll see it. Magneto secured one-sided.
Didn't we just play Hall of Djalia? What's the map?
Seen Reject really opt for the Magneto play in their triple. So Yaki specifically looked really good on this.
Oh, why does it say Hall of Djalia?
For wanting to have that one-sided.
Ooh, Reject! Reject can ban both of the heroes. Uh-oh.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's different here, though. It's very different on a map like this, where Mag using that shield is going to take up the entire lane. So it's far, different, but still kind of interesting. I think that might be one of the first times we've seen that today.
Loki going to be banned out, secured one side for Reject. We did see RAD really put in the work with that.
They don't want to ban any of the melee characters, chat. Wow.
That was extremely
I thought, hey, you guys won when you banned Crazy Kitty out. Why won't you just do it again? But no.
On the side, because the Rocket Raccoon, they're looking for one side for Reject if they can get it through.
It is an important hero on this map, just because we see it as the revive with the Battle Rebirth beacon for the hold. So it is viable, but it has been, like you said, a really go-to pick for Reject.
The Gambit save too is pretty crucial here for RAD.
Agreed, and like you guys are talking about, Rocket's an enabler for the break.
A one-sided
and
Gambit,
right? So
and another team. The other team has a one-sided Loki.
But we can see the removal of Luna. I think Luna.
They removed Luna.
Super strong in this match.
And are they going to save Luna?
Just landing so many freezes, just getting a little bit of extra charms, and the healing output for your dive characters, which was
a one-sided Loki and a one-sided Rocket, and the other team has a one-sided Mag and a one-sided
have gotten
Gambit.
The better of this ban draft. Yes, Gambit is very strong. Yes, Magneto is very strong. But as you're saying, Shiv, this is exactly what we saw during a domination. It did not work. The Invis ban, okay, I do like that, but I don't know if that's the best option. Maybe it would have been better to ban the Luna because we've seen so much more effectiveness from that.
That damage boost on the shield with the torch team up though can be good for spawn breaks. We're talking about it. Spawn breaks are so important here.
I don't know if I agree with the Reject bans.
Goes on to the bracket stage.
I think RAD wins.
Is eliminated from the mid-season
I
finals.
think they should have done exactly what they did the first game. It doesn't make any sense. Why are you going to change something? Why fix something that ain't broke?
Reject at this point. It looked so good last map.
I'm actually copying you again. I'm going Reject on this one too. I'm sorry, RAD. We'll see how it goes.
You're a traitor to your region. It's RAD all the way. Let's send it over to Leg Day and Ride on the casting desk to bring you home with the final map of the day.
Well, I know somebody that's not getting that return flight back to Europe, Audible, like instant, but I understand it because here it's like Reject here looking so good in these environments, and RAD, well, shaky, but it's expected, right? They're getting that experience, and we have seen teams go from these kind of moments to actually very successful runs in playoffs if RAD can make it. I mean, that's what the organization did last time, and they won the whole damn thing.
Well, now the pressure is equal. And
remember, Reject didn't do really well against
on the offense, and one of
the spawn hold break.
Seeing if it's not quite the same like Black Widow Daredevil sort of play, but Reject attacking first, RAD going onto the defense.
What the hell? I hate you, Jay. Really, what the hell did I do?
The usual stuff, right? The triple strategist, but you do have that one dual.
What the hell did I do, man?
Vanguard for RAD.
Well, RAD are going to be having to try and get some value off the bar on the Cooks here. Great wall setup coming through from Piggy to try and bisect this team. You can see that Vanguards have been isolated. Quick force movement from Piggy. And yet
why did YouTube say fuck J3, man? What the hell did I do?
Ducky didn't get any such resources. All they were already expended to try and fuel for that Magneto. And so Ducky might already be
almost a good wall.
Doctor Strange to try and teleport back.
hoping that there's going to be enough of a touch there from the rest of his team in the end, but it's provided Piggy enough space to put these walls down. A trade at the very least. The Smash has been able to pick off Brownie, but the BRB means that it's still going to be a 6 versus 5 for the time being whilst Ducky's in transit.
He can just put down so much poke here that can't really be answered as well. Just make sure attacks.
Oh my god, I love what Piggy's doing over here on the right side.
Entryways are certainly going to complicate entry as well. Yaki takes a bit of a wide angle, could be risky, and can't quite get past that Gambit Orb either, but Lugia goes already fallen down to Piggy. Brownie's getting involved with adjudication.
Yo!
And defense certainly is.
Okay, I wasn't familiar with your game, Reject. Okay, they capped with 5 minutes.
Museum of Contemplation, and I find
5 minutes.
Reject. We say like Pacific Region, Museum of Contemplation. Reject played it 3 times today. 3 times. Like, you're not beating the allegations that this is just like the love letter, your map. Crazy Kitty at least is going to go over to the Kitty, the feline of Black Cat themselves. But RAD don't want to over-change their composition because you're losing some of that ult charge that you're building up. But also, that's where they start to look a little bit
That's not me.
Right?
That's not me, chat. That's not my internet. I paid my bill like a week ago.
Okay, precise rotation here from RAD. Haven't really had to use any resources.
Oh, they're doing the J3 team strat. Remember when we bunkered down here and we won?
Here of the Vanguards, but you can see that
yeah, remember, but we had a penny. They don't have a penny.
Effectively, it does go down rather quickly. Yaki gets dragged on in. Crazy Kitty on a good controlling arc here, and Mash is ready to try and answer this one as well. The second Cosmic Yarn Amplifier goes out. In comes Mash's response. The rage. Is that double? No, not this time. They're just hiding away in the room. I think that there may well have been a block.
Oh, that was a good block if he was trying to...
Prison, and that's going to be an easy execution of Gargoyle here. One after the other, dodging the incoming blast drops of CC immunity. Lastro is just going to be feeding over ultimate.
No! Why would you not go for the Loki that was right next to you?
Is going to stop this train.
The Loki was on his right side. Why is he trying to hit someone that's farther away when he's falling?
And it's easy for the Kraken's impact. I think the
See, this is why they need me on Bucky, chat. It doesn't make any sense.
Also got the rolling Royal Flush that
it makes no sense.
Mash, but it's still one of those cases like that was able to turn that fight in. Reject dedicated a lot, went for the Strangling Prison themselves for Piggy.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Big scary ultimates that are available on this attack inside that are about to come online, namely like Yaki that really makes good use out of these like Let the Devil Out. Certainly closing down the distance against RAD, who just want to keep away from him at all costs.
Crazy Kitty going towards the back. Here comes the last stand. They want the Loki and they'll get the Loki. Farewell to Lastro. The Jotunheim magic, no match for
his hairline is too good to play Bucky correctly.
So many resources as well, like it's full instinct that's now coming in over on the Bucky, but Let the Devil Out in close proximity to RAD. They're able to hold on. They don't have the Stridest ultimates in order to keep fighting this, but Piggy does find that pick over towards Lugia.
Well, in this tight corridor, you're building up Fury so fast. Piggy's just donk walking towards the man. The Flora Colossus just takes step after step and cannot be stopped. Yaki gets... Mash has picked up 2 on the back here with the beat stick, but you don't have a talking stick, so it's time to shut up, they say, but Reject are just going to keep on rolling.
There's another re-engage. It's not really like you have got a bit of respite, so you don't have to be forced out to do the portal play just yet. And you've also got your 2 strategist ultimates about to come online for RAD, so you can't
tell me that Daredevil knew what he was looking at during that ult. You think Daredevil players don't know what they're doing when they play anything, bro. They're just smashing their face on the keyboard.
Nice bubble to parry the incoming Feral Leap of the Wolverine. Great response there from Piggy. And here's the Cosmic Yarn Amplifier.
That's not good. That's not good. Oh, he's trying to protect it. Oh, I like that.
Wild tech there from Piggy, but Brownie was inside of the invisible boundary and so falls down before being resurrected here by the Battle Recall Beacon of Sunghoon. What about next Cosmic Yarn Amplifier though?
Oh, that's a good spot. That's a good spot for that ult.
And now Brownie's just going to be doing so much damage. Assassin's proficiency is well known here. Farewell to Smashness. Bye-bye Crazy Kitty.
Nice.
To RAD's defense.
And the Strangling Prison used to just make it fish in a barrel for Brownie.
Yo!
Damage boosted gun, the damage boosted ultimate. RAD just not having enough to like out-sustain these engagements, because like you mentioned, like the Yarn Amplifier was used from Serum.
There's no way, man.
Brownie got picked off.
Jay, I thought you were cheering for RAD. I do think RAD is going to win, but to be honest with you, I do feel like the Asia teams are like...
From the standout duelist of the day behind the lane, you have to say.
The Asia teams always lost really early on in all the lands, so I'm kind of, it's like I'm really cheering for the underdog here. I really do want to see, like, you know, I really do want to see them, like, win.
As well. Plenty of peeling coming through, but big isolation coming over here onto Crazy Kitty, split the wrong way from the remainder of his team. The comms must have been so cluttered.
Rejected so good, even though they're getting picked off, they're still dedicating ultimates because they know a Be Right Back is about to be ready and available to use, so it's not too much of a problem for Gargoyle to pull out the ult, even though they have just lost one of their players. They're so good at just reading where the map state is with some of these bigger cooldowns.
Chaos Blade used here, unleashed from the scabbard by Magneto, but it would appear that
I mean, whoever wins this plays against Team Liquid Citadel, so I think whoever wins this is going to get bullied next, so I don't know.
Cannot afford to choke this one. Proficiency is demanded. They need to stop it here right now. If Reject start to build momentum, this could be curtains before it's even begun. But Yaki is taking this time to develop an angle on the other side so he can unleash the Devil into the backline. He's getting constantly harried though by his
that would actually be really cool if
in his own right, and this constant battle for the high
if a team from Asia wins this whole LAN event, because everyone's saying, like, you know, an NA or an EU team's gonna win.
Goes there just in time with the extra on top.
Oh, there you go.
Puts a little bit of sauce on it, taking down Lastro, and while Smashnez may lose out on his duel to Brownie, there's a little bit of stability.
It's a respect for Yaki coming in with the ultimate Strangle Prison, just making sure that the Let the Devil Out is pretty much put out to pastures as much as possible. But Crazy has found
what was Brownie
reset to coming in
as Black Widow doing all the way at the other team's spawn like he was going to do something, bro?
Window, but this
he just staggered himself a little bit.
The Red Room Rifle is about to become its fully charged and powerful battle station, but can Smashnez find the space to work with it is the question.
These head-to-heads for Smashnez today, they haven't looked too solid, but it's the damage boost on the other side. No Mantis available for either team for that reason, but the ultimate's going to be thrown out, just taking the pot shots, hoping for the best with the first Yan Amplifier. Lastro has another one in backup just in case it's needed.
That extra movement speed coming through from the Raging Royal Flush could be everything here to try and avoid some of this incoming damage.
Damn.
Crazy getting towards the back, ready to let the Devil out. Lastro already coming through with a doppelganger. The Cosmic Yan Amplifier gives over even more HP to try and dodge through this, but when more HP is generated, there's all the more damage to try and chunk through it. Smashnez making sure that there's so much danger of that spinning kick you cannot follow through.
Wait, Crazy Kitty Spider-Man chat? This is our first Spider-Man that we've seen? Wait a minute, we have a Spider-Man in the game? Wait, he switched off Spider-Man already? Well, that sucks.
So many ultimates, they're not getting that much in terms of progress. Rad needs to get in the way of this one though. The Pentagram of Ferala opened up behind them, cuts off the LOS from the healers towards the front line. Isolation here on towards the Doctor Strange's Gargoyle with 100 energy is waiting to try and find an opening.
The Ducky has got that Strangling Prison. It could be a hero moment here, and with Piggy being taken out, there's some trades on the other side. It's pulled Sunghyun out of position, so the strategists are gone.
Someone's got to get on to the point. It's going to be Yaki here, but they're blocked away by the Mad Cannon. Moving up closer, overtime is going to begin to tick away. There are no second chances.
A good hold by Rad, but that's going to be pretty tough to beat.
Still a strong push that
that's
Rad are going to have to match if they want to survive.
Yeah, Rad, when the map opens up, you have a bit more of that verticality with the point blooming out into this like double-decker train. Able to just make Crazy Kitty have a bit more freedom to sort of work with. Smashnez, he can't really go head-to-head with the Black Widow on the other side in an honest game because you have the
Brownie's popping off, 10 final hits. Piggy too, 7 finals.
Space, really, like
Yaki with 2 finals,
I'm still a little bit worried about overall for Rad is like for EMEA, we've had like out of the 20 games that we've seen, maybe like 2 actually reach the third part of the map. It usually stops there. So it's whether Rad can actually get to that objective because Rad, Reject even, are very good on defensive side of this. They had good experience with playing some of the triple setups or against some of these like bunker breakers that we saw from Acron.
And Jay, please do comp after this. Whoa, Chad, I don't know if I'm playing comp, bro. We've been streaming for 9 hours already.
But Reject not looking for the damage. They're looking for
I think after this, I might call it. I don't know yet. And then, I mean, tomorrow's going to be a longer day, I think.
Defense folded like a crypto scam.
Yeah,
it just barely even existed despite 2 good pulls.
People are about to lose their life savings, and Jay over here talking about underdogs. I think everyone can say that Reject was the underdog coming into this. Yes.
Sorry.
Listen.
Wrong, actually.
I do not like watching stomps. I want to watch a very close and tight game.
A mile taken, a mile claimed. Only 1 spot in our playoff bracket, and 2 teams that are desperate for it.
Crazy Kitty has the full use of the team up with Gambit in
It's
hand
not
too,
fun
so
for us as
pretty
viewers,
much
chat,
should be like the
to
next
watch a
level
2-0.
ultra instinct
That's
to be able to
boring.
take these fights and immediately some big resources.
Seeing a
Lamps
game go to
and the
match
team up
map
with Jeff
3
used for
and
Piggy means he
seeing
doesn't
a
have too much
match
to
like
rely on to protect him.
literally go to the
Gonna make
last
it
fight
difficult
so
for
much
Reject to
better.
take a more aggressive
It
turn
puts you on
now,
the edge of
but
your
trying to
seat.
Force out that passive here from Crazy Kitty. Was that Brownie just flying by on the other side? Manages to self-revive on the back of a Cocoon Revival. But Smasher's doing so much damage here with Rotter Stern and building up the instinct.
Hey, you have your hook. Why don't you hook someone? Bro, watching people play Bucky
so many with a tainted
tilts me.
voltage. The instinct is built, but the space is being taken away. Gargoyle just runs him down in the neutral. The peeling was not there, and still the regeneration domains can come up here from Lastro.
It's a minute that's been used, and RAD have not really been able to move this objective anywhere. In fact, they had to sort of take a couple more steps back with the S key because of how that fight was going in the end. Yan Amplify going to be used along with the Strangling Prison, and you've got the Royal Flush that's going to be used to counter it from RAD, but you've got the copy that's going to go in, so 2 Yan Amplifies for the price of 1.
Got 1, maybe 2 here. Brownie cannot self-revive again. Crazy Kitty moving towards the back. Battle Recall Beacon not going to last for long, and despite the investment here from Yaki,
yo, wait, Crazy Kitty's popping off.
Reward them for the investment made. It's all gone down the plug, and so Rejects are going to have to come back once again. They're already going to TP.
Yeah,
Jubilee is allowed,
They
yes,
just wanna
chat.
sort of take
Jubilee
these
is allowed.
engagements as much as possible, but RAD have enough banked up. It's just that the Strategist Ultimates got used in the end. Maybe even like RAD want to try and close this distance a bit more, but with this quiet, the solemn silence, they're expecting this play.
They are going to be playing catch-up here, as the cart has got away from them. That's going to make this engagement very awkward, especially considering they're not working from a point of advantage, and Brownie being down is a huge amount of utility that's not going to be available.
The group bubble is just too funny to watch. Wow. Wow, Reject.
Over the Museum of Contemplation, as Mash and Vertigo have no one to peel for them, no second chances, no resurrections this time. And Reject are back in control.
And they have res. And they have res. So what I'm gonna guess here is that Ducky's gonna ult, Smash Nez is gonna combo with him. They're gonna all die, and then Brownie's just gonna get a massive res. Now the problem is, if Smash Nez continues to go again and again, that might be a problem for the res.
And look at how
where's Piggy going?
Piggy's going so deep towards the back.
Where are they? Why are they?
Yaka to try and move forward with those embattled leaps. Attempt to try and turn this one around here from Smashnez.
Why would you not try to bait out the Groot ult first?
Another reset, and it's going to be flipping down again onto
why? What it? No, that's like horrible.
Now you are playing mad catch up to try and get in onto the car and make up for loss. A nice dodge onto the clobbering time.
No.
Smashness refuses to yield and refuses to lose.
No!
Going up against this Adam is so difficult because the Soul Bond is just distributing the damage.
And now Yan Amplify used to try to counter-attack. Invisible Boundary used, but the Strangler Prison from Ducky going to be thrown in. Finds the picks at least to grab everybody together. And the patty cake isn't going to be enough to try to out-sustain this, even with Lastro going for the copy for another Yan Amplifier.
No, dude, I think they used... No.
Just Tech Town over on this
I think that's Rad. Rad's taking that. Why would you waste your ult right there? Why would... What was the strat there?
After the Loki, no resurrections, no tricks, no Lastro to remain.
Bro, why would you take your team, rush to their spawn when you're playing defense, force your team to die when you could have just played passively and wasted more time, baited out your own support ult, which was very valuable if you got out the Groot ult. What the hell was that?
Turn this around and end up in playoffs tomorrow. You can very much turn and thank Smashnez because he has shown up where it matters. But this is a big battle to go up against. Crazy Kid is still staying on the Wolverine, Yaki on the Daredevil.
Smashnez forced to give up that angle, and you can bet the second that he shows himself, Brownie's there as well, but Piggy gets isolated there, likely off a feral leap. This is what the Wolverine brings to the table. This is what knocked Heretics out of contention. The great play off the back of that Wolverine, and Yaki's going to be able to enter into the back line here, basically unabated.
Has the ultimate for last stand, but just seeing if he can actually force these players off, splinter them off. He gets grabbed up from the Emma Frost, but there's enough sustenance there to actually fight this. Last stand is going to pull Piggy out into position. He just got back, and you've just pulled him back.
I think Rad wins. I think Reject through.
Out of a lamps and into a fire. No chance to build up towards one of those strategist ultimates. Gargoyle's going to be the only one on the docket for this. And Reject are already puddling again.
Oh my god.
I am looking at Gargoyle, though. The Silent Seductions have come out, and another portal, actually. This map has gone so quickly, it feels like it wasn't going to be available, but Brownie's been taken out whilst the rest of the team comes in, and Lastro has as well.
Oh, they're down 2 Reject. Surely they can't make this one work, even with the ultimates that they have. 2 in the back line. Yaki knows better than to throw good money after bad. This is going to have to be a last.
God damn, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is like being a Browns fan.
Lastro's gone again. Just every time he shows his face, this Loki is getting absolutely
Anyone a Browns fan?
blasted.
And so many ultimates still held on to.
Or like a
reach
Jets
second
fan.
Now it's 100 meters still to go. So whilst it does look
This
like
is-
Rad are in poised position with 2 minutes left, this point can feel long, and it can certainly be drawn out with what we saw from Reject. A 4.5 minute hold was it against the Chronics? Rad have to try to make sure that
It's
that
like being a Dolphins fan.
doesn't
Hey,
happen.
hey, 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 hey. Hey,
Reject.
we're gonna be good
For
this year.
so long, but now their joy is turning to ash in their mouths. 3 ultimates to play with here, and they need to get value off of each and every one.
Got to look at C. You got Mash as well with the Royal Flush. It's the one-sided gambit on their side that they want to try to make it work. But Piggy has been caught out of position a few times, and now it's both Julius using the ults.
Yaki and Brownie thought they had the power to make this one work, but they just get caught inside of Ducky's ultimate. Lugia also shutting this one down. The bubbles to block the incoming shots. The Pierce isn't there. Brownie now missing out on so much of their damage, but still has the primary fire to try and work with.
Seems at Reject, it's been a battle of attrition. They've had so many games to play in the end today, but Rad have had the full 3 mappers all the way up, other than that 2-0 against Iconics. Now there's so little window of time and space to work with for Reject. You got to hope that you can close this distance, because right now Smashdays is set up in the sky.
To turn the ball over.
Of Rad right now with happy faces. The Lupine Golds in the sky.
Oh, I wish he got traded.
Songhun gonna have to try and move after Picky here. Can they make contact in time? Yes, the healing's finally there. Gargoyle on the other side using the Sonic Seduction to grab both of these backliners and shut down their potential to try and clutch. Smashdays can try and find an angle, but it seems that they've got nothing off the back of their Black Widow ultimate. Gargoyle needs to disengage. Both of Vanguard have fallen.
No, they threw, bro. They threw! They threw! Bro, whoever made that call, to go rush their spawn for their res through the fucking game. I don't know which person did that on their team. They threw the match. But the good news is, our prediction stays true. Bro. You guys, whoever voted for RC was about to get the biggest payout of their fucking lives, bro. You guys were about to see one of the biggest payouts. I cannot believe that. I feel so bad for Rejects. They literally had the victory in their hands and they threw it away. They threw it away, bro.